everyone, I'm Farah Imran and today I'll be telling you about exception handling in Python. So, in this video, I'll be telling you about the types of errors, what are exceptions, and how to handle them using try statement, except statement, finally, else. So, I'll be telling you about all of these things in this video. So, let's get started. So, at first, let me tell you about errors. Errors, there are two types of errors, the syntax errors and logical errors. Now, syntax errors are those errors, for example, like there's thing like if for example when you forget to like add something and then what happens is that the computer tells you like in this line of code this thing happened, like there's an error in it and you have to like find it and solve it. So here the computer tells you. Now the other is logical errors. Now logical errors are the thing, it gives you an error and they're also known as exceptions. Logical errors are also known as exceptions and they also tell you that sorry, you cannot do this, just don't do this thing. Now I'll be showing you that for example if you write that x is equal to 9 and then y equal to, for example, you write a string which is high and then you write that uh, print x plus y and now you run it. See here, you see here x is an integer because it has an integer in it. It's a variable but it has a which has an integer in it, and y is also a variable which has strings in it. So now if you add these, because for string, if there's just strings, for adding to strings, the plus operation it concatenates. And in integers, the plus operation, what happens if like you're adding to integers, so it just adds up. So the mathematical addition happens. This thing. Now when I'll like click on run, then you see here an error comes out that there's a type error. Now this is not a syntax error. This is exception. And because here they said that unsupported operand type for plus. So this is a type error which will tell you that you cannot add up integer and string. So they're just saying this. Now, let me show you about syntax error. Now, syntax error, what happens is that, for example, if we are writing some function, def hi, and then you just add some brackets. After that, you write print hi. Okay, now this is a function. Now you're even now calling it. Okay, now when I click on run, I'll click on run. After what happens, there's a syntax error. Why it's saying syntax error? Because you forgot to put semicolon here. And here they're also telling you where is the error. So it says here it's this file, it's on line 1, and here they're even showing you the direction that where is the error. And they said expected this. They want the semicolon should be here. That's why the error came. You didn't add the semicolon. Sorry, not semicolon, the colon, you didn't add that, so that's why the other error came. Now after that I'll be telling you about exception. Already I told you about the type error. The next would be the name error. For example, the name error is you did not make a function, you did not make a variable, you did not make a class. These errors that happens in name error. So in name error you did not specify or you did not make a variable, you did not make a function, or you did not make a class. So here I'm not saying that you didn't make these things and you'll get an error. No, the thing is that you did not make the thing, you did not make a function, a variable, or a class, and you added that name in the here in the code. So it will give you the error of name error. So let me show you here. For example, if I say here that g is equal to 9 and I'm saying print x plus g. Now here I'm giving. Now when I click on run, so here it says name error because X is not defined. It doesn't know whether X is a variable, class, function, whatever it is, because it's not defined. That's why it is giving you the name error. Now this is the second type of exception. The third type is zero division error. Now zero division error is when you divide the value by zero. That's why you get the division error, like how it happens that you get infinity. So here the computer gives you an error. Now if I say that X is equal to um, 5 and then y equal to 0. After that, if I print, let me cross this. Yeah. Now when I print x divide by y. Now I write this. After that, when I click on run, you see here zero division error came. It says that division by 0, that's why this is an error. Now this is called zero division error. Now there's another type of exception which is called indentation error. Now let me show you. In Python, indentation is very important because if you don't add indentation, you get an error. So if I say, like for example, I say def5 or h, and then I'm making this function, I'm adding the colon. After that, I did not indent, means I did not add space in it. If I say print hi, okay. After that, when I click on run, see here there's indentation error because see, after when you added the function, there should be some space to that so that Python knows that it's inside the function. So that's why this error came. So here it said there should be some space in it. So I added indentation and then when I click on run, it's not coming because I did not call the function. When you call the function, then it will come. Now when I click on run, yeah, see hi is not defined. I'll write h, click on run, hi has been printed. Now this is indentation error. And let me show you how to handle the exceptions because the main topic is exception handling. So how to handle these exceptions. So let me show you that. Now, for example, if I'm writing that, yep. So for not indentation, for exception handling, you use the try catch block. So for example, if I say that I'll do the same thing of x is equal to 4, y is equal to a string, just add some string like Gina. Okay, after that, what will happen is I'm writing try. Okay, then what will happen will just print or z equal to x plus y. After that, when I click on run, I'll write except, means if there's error in the try block, then at first try it will go to try when you run it. But if there's error in the try block, then it will go to the except. So here we write there's type error. Here this one, type error, and then you can add some statements that it will print that error, or you cannot add string and integer. If you add the brackets, you cannot add string and integer. I'm writing this. Now when I click on run, so here you can see this has been printed because there was error in the try block, so except has been printed. So you can just write except also for handling. And then we can just catch the specific errors, which is like if I say except value error, except indentation error, or we can just write except. So this is how you do for this is for the type error, because we knew that this is type error. For example, if we did not know it was type error, we can just remove this. Then also it will be printed. You cannot add string and integer. I'll just write error. Error. Okay. Then we click on run. So you see here this has been printed. It's not important that you need to write except value error, but if you want to catch the specific ones, then you can write. There's also else and finally also. Okay. Now if I say else, print no error. No error. Okay. Now if I say that y is equal to 7. Now when I click on run, okay, here it says no error. Why it says no error? Because at first try was executed and then except was not executed. It did not go to except, it went to else. So else would be printed. And then there's another block also which is called finally. Now finally prints whether you get an except or no. Means if there's error in the try block or there's no error in the try block, then also finally would be printed. It's like the statement which would be printed regardless of whether you get an error or not. Say print x plus print x then plus y. Now when I click on run, see here 11 has been printed and then it says no error. After that there's a finally block also that I'll just write just I'll say finally no error. Finally no error, or the end. I'll just write the end. The end. Okay. Now after that when you click on run, so you see here, now here this one finally was printed and you see here there's no error. Now let's check if there is an error. Then also finally would be printed or not. So I'm just running some random words. So when you click on run, so here error, you cannot add a string and integer, the end. So here you can see whether you get an error or you don't get an error, then also finally would be printed. Now let's add some another error instead of type error. So just add some name error that we'll just add print x plus z. Now error, you no variable defined. Now let's see. After that when I click on run, okay, see here says error, no variable defined, the end. Now here this is another error, which is because here you can see z, there is no variable defined. So that's why it's getting an error. So that is all from my side. Thank you so much.